With the Biker's Choice Tach, and with it comes the clamp to go on your handlebars and the wiring. Notice there's a green, black, blue, and red wire. This is the wiring diagram that comes with the tachometer. Note it shows where the red, blue, black wires go, and the green is the tachometer feed. And it tells you in general where to put it. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to wire it. Note that in my wiring diagram here, so to speak, I'm keeping everything at the coil. So the green wire will go to the negative orange coil wire on the right side coil. I'm going to use the mounting bolt on the coil as my ground. I'm going to connect the red and the blue wire together, connect that to the red positive coil terminal because that's 12 volts DC. Okay, the way that I'm going to accomplish this wiring is by adding these spades onto the Tach wires, a bigger spade for the combined wires and a more narrow gauge for the green wire. And up behind the spade I'll use shrink tubing. I already have some shrink tubing on the spade I put on the ground wire. And then I'll drop some solder in there just to make sure everything's good. On the posts on the coil I'm going to put these piggyback spades, which allow you to connect two things to the same spade. So that way I don't have to cut any wires on the motorcycle itself. I've narrowed this spade a bit just because the spade on the negative terminals a little bit more narrow than the one on the positive terminal, so I can slip the existing quick connect on the bike on this spade and then the Tach spade onto here. And as I connect spades I'll be using dielectric grease. I got these parts at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Okay, we need to remove the seats in order to gain access to the coil on the passenger side, so that starts with a nut on the rear fender. So that's a 12mm socket. Okay, so you take the rear seat off by first pulling it up over the bolt. And by the way, 3 parts come off of the bolt, a washer, and a collar. So if you didn't get the 3rd part off, it'll pop off when you pull the seat up. Pull up off the bolt, pull, reverse, comes off easily. The passenger seat gone, now you get access to the rider's seat, and that will require a 7mm hex wrench. Okay, to remove the rider's seat, simply pull up. We just took out the bolt and pull backwards. It's easy removal. So now's a good time to reach over and take off that right rear cover using a 7mm hex wrench. We'll be disconnecting the negative wire from the battery so we don't mess anything up while we're doing this. Okay, once you've unscrewed this bolt, you take this cover off just as if you would your tool compartment cover.
Blech.
You'll notice I put a rag here to protect both the cover and the pipes. And you see your battery. And once we have the 2 seats off, then we get access to the 2 bolts that hold the gas tank down. All we need to do is remove this plastic connector and unscrew these 2 12mm bolts. Before moving the gas tank, I'm going to turn my valve to off, and I'm going to remove this hose. It'll give me more freedom and movement for the tank itself. So what I've done is lifted up the rear and pulled the gas tank backwards, and it pulls right off its round supports. There's one. And I've set the tank back. Releasing that fuel hose allowed me to move it all the way back here. So I still got some hose and wire attached to it, but it's got enough flexibility to move back this far because I need access to the coil. Okay, I'm on the right side of the bike facing the front. I'm going to remove the bolt here so I can remove this plate, plastic plate that's around my ignition switch. To take that cover off, you need to unsnap it from the other side here. I just put a screwdriver underneath and drove them apart. And this, which the gas tank goes around, is a rubber plug that just pulls off. So now the right side coil is exposed, and you can see the positive terminal and negative terminal. The feed will come off the negative terminal, and I'm going to hook up the positive power to this terminal and the ground here, just so all the wires go in the same place. I'm not going to mess with the headlight. Okay, here's what everything looks like, all connected. And so the next test is going to be hooking the negative wire back to the battery. Okay, everything's buttoned up. Everything is placed back in reverse order that it was taken down. Now it's time for the final test. Turn on the ignition, light comes on. Looks good, right, Leo?